what are the key branding activities that somebody needs to take, right, to reach to a status wherein corporates or brands start calling you as a chief outsider versus a consulting?
Well, you know, it's semantics, and honestly, if brands are happy calling you a consultant for whatever reason, I've been called contractor also by brands, you know, because it's easy for them to do payroll for it, so it doesn't matter. But what it takes to be called in is a demonstrated expertise across time, over time, across sectors, across brands, of having helped make valuable brands, make brands deliver to consumer needs, grow brands, grow market shares, stuff like that. So, and it's of course having walked the talk and not just talk the talk. A consultant would probably talk the talk and leave you with it. But here you're saying, look, I've done this. I know what it takes. I've run hundreds of campaigns. So I'm telling you from that versus the theory of doing that. So I think if you bring that value, then in a conversation, in a discussion, in an interaction with a client, you are able to demonstrate that I get my space, I get your space, I get the consumer space, and I know how to play the game for you on your side of the table. Consultants are usually on their side of the table. A chief marketing outsider, as you call it, outside officer, is on your side of the table. So you will look at an agency's quote and say, I think this is too expensive. If you're the agency, you're not going to self-evaluate yourself.
Makes sense. Thank you.
And of course, refer.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Shrikant.
So when we are talking about time and cost involved, right? And you also mentioned the expertise one person to help you come. But don't you think that this expertise puts a hurdle in terms of him thinking outside the box, right? See, a lot of young people try to think out of the box and have this strategy of screw it, let's do it, right? And that's how they bring in new stuff to the market, right? So how do you think these two say in practice?
Okay, so what a lot of young brands do beautifully, and I'm not young any longer, and I admire the balls they have to do this, is they find a hole in a market. Okay, they're like, this is my idea. What an outside expertise brings is helping them find a market in that hole. So that's a big difference. You still think out of the box, you still think innovative, but you kind of think from the consumer perspective, because finally, all consumers want only two things. They want to be more, they want to do more. All products, all services only address two needs. They don't want an app. They don't want to check into your hotel. They don't want, to pay by an X wallet. They don't want 10% off. What they want is to be more, do more. If paying 10% off lets them do that, they will do that. If buying on Flipkart lets them do that, they will do that. Be more, do more. Everything comes down to that, right? So I think if you look at it from the perspective of find a market in a hole, and a hole in the market's been found, they're complementary, they're not conflicting. Sorry, you have a question.
There is always a perception that social media is low-cost marketing and all those things. One I want to ask is whether it is really true, or two, if it is true, can you give a little bit of cost comparison of social media versus...
Okay, so I've written a blog many years ago, and if you Google social media is free, social media marketing is not Ashok, Lalla, you will find it in multiple places. I've written this about 5 years ago. So creating an account may be free. Creating a brand through that account is not free. Things like time cost of people managing it, content you put up, time cost of thinking it's free and writing a set of tweets is going to get people to come to you. Thinking you've created a Twitter channel to tell them what's grand about your brand and realizing that they've got customer complaints coming there and there's a cost to your brand. So none of the channels are free. 5 years ago we were told that you needed to get likes on your Facebook page, and then it was like getting your fans into a room like this, close the door and they were yours for life. Till today, now if you have more than 500,000 fans, your organic reach is tending to zero. That means you need to pay to talk to people in this room. So it's no longer free. Today you can't, after a point, Twitter will charge brands to tweet. So you must realize they are media channels. Each one is a media channel. Today Facebook doesn't call itself a social network, they call itself an advertising platform. So no channel is free. Just as creating a website has a cost, doing it well has a cost, doing it badly has a cost. Creating too many social channels has a huge cost, which you don't realize because your brand is inconsistently represented very often. People forget passwords of some channels created by some intern one summer. Your customer, if that's the only page he sees related to your brand, you know, you've lost him before you even started talking to him. Yeah? Mike at the back. Yeah.
Talking about startups or the young brands that you're talking about, at which stage do you think it makes sense for them to invest in some kind in a chief outside officer?
Okay, that's a great question. At the stage when they're ready to make marketing investments. So I've been interacting with young brands for over a year and a half, and I've realized they're very much just at the idea stage. It's nice to do, but if they're not going to be able to invest behind some of the advice, it's a little early. It's good counsel to keep in mind, but you know the outcomes are not visible, and therefore they kind of don't see value. So at this stage, when you have some amount of funding to invest in marketing, even if it's funding that you think you're ready to invest in marketing, then a person will come and tell you, look, this is too suboptimal. You know, like someone told me, I have 8 crores. 8 crores is trivial if you want a full page of the Times of India. 2 crores for one ad. But it's not, it's a number. So you need to be willing to make marketing investments. I think it's at a point when you've got proof of concept, you've got some consumer traction, you're seeing challenges in consumer retention, consumers are downloading apps, not buying, and you're coming to that, you know, of course you can have the conversation earlier, and then, you know, it's like you go to a doctor and he says, I think you can go 1 more year before you do your knee replacement surgery. But don't wait that long because, you know, there are other people who kind of moving as fast. Yeah.
So, couple of questions. One is, so these days, you know, last couple of years, mobile has really taken off. So, what are the key changes that you have seen in the digital marketing space in the last 2-3 years, especially in India? Second is, one key takeaway that you would like, you know, startup founders to take from this talk. What should be 1 or 2 tips, you know, that people should remember?
Okay, so mobile. Today they say build a mobile app and your life, life is sorted. So that's, I think, something I'm seeing. Simple tip: I'm willing and available for hire. So please talk to me, and you know, you'll start solving some of your problems together. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not on Instagram. I don't have a YouTube channel, and I'm in front of you. Yeah? Any last question? Yeah, one last question. Any question of any of the ladies? Since you know you get, you know, it's disproportionate. There's a lady put her hand up there. So will you let the lady take this one, and then maybe you take the last one?
Yeah, hi Ashok. Satya.
You get the last one. Yeah, yes. No, that's fine. You can take this, let the lady have the last word.
Yeah, talking about agencies like you mentioned, big and small ones, bigs are a bit rigid and not as dynamic as the small ones, and not even as a single expert. I mean, a single expert can do better than big agencies sometimes. So how do you see the market in 5 years down the line, or are the big ones set to fail, or there is a way out for them?
I think all agencies are evolving. The big ones are understanding they need to be more nimble. I think single experts do what they do well in their specialization. There is a value for consumer insights, bigger thinking, more stronger fundamentals that some of the large agencies bring. What the younger agencies bring is more agility, more ability to kind of evolve faster to needs. So I think it's going to kind of come together somewhere. Yeah, last question.
Hi Ashok, it was great listening, and the way you have spent so much of time in digital marketing, I'm sure you would have seen some major revolutions in the field, digital marketing. the way things change in the past 15 years. So I would like you to tell some of your interesting experiences with those revolutions, and also some challenges, upcoming challenges which you can predict, for which startups like us should be wary of.
So fundamentally, I think flavor of the season has changed over 15 years. It was websites, it was payment gateways, it was social media, it was Facebook, it's Instagram. But what has not changed and what has sort of increased is there's the interconnectedness amongst people, and the propensity of people to share, to express and want to interact has sort of increased. So 5,000 years ago, people wrote on walls in China. It took 6 months, for the next person who walked by the wall to actually read it. Today, you put something on your wall and it's shared instantly. So channels have changed, but fundamentals of consumer needs hasn't. It's got buzzier, it's got more crowded, it's got fuzzier, and with the need that, you need to be able to kind of have strong fundamentals and then kind of operate the channels more judiciously, more nimbly, and kind of be willing to kind of fail forward and kind of iterate faster and faster. So that's about it. Thank you. Thank you very much.